The views and opinions expressed on this program are those of the producers and the individuals appearing on this program, and do not necessarily reflect the views and opinions of the staff of the Sun Prairie Media Center, its members or underwriters, the board members of the Media Center Commission, Charter Communications, TDS Telecom, or the staff and elected officials of the City of Sun Prairie.
Hello and welcome to Real Reviews. My name is Jameson Rabbit. The man seated next to me, when he draws pictures of dinosaurs, they all end up looking like cows. His name is Mike Roth.
Yeah, they're descendants of dinosaurs.
Get out.
The first, I believe, Big Mac was made from the Stegosaurus.
Yeah?
But, the recipe was lost
along
with the rest of the devastation of the world.
Interesting.
Trust me.
Wow.
I know these things. I have a book.
The meteor hit. We lost the Big Mac for generations.
Generations. It wasn't until Ray Kroc he was able to channel that.
I've seen The Founder. I know how it works.
Oh, it's a great movie.
Now that you're mentioned, I do remember the dinosaur quotient in there. Yeah.
Fun fact, I've watched The Founder at least 5 or 6 times.
Really?
Yes.
Wow.
That's a fantastic
enjoyable
movie.
film.
Mm-hmm.
All right.
Yeah.
I've eaten a Big Mac at least 5 or 6 times. Since
That's
that movie
it?
came out.
That's my staple. That's breakfast.
Oh, boy. You know, the guy who's eaten the most Big Macs in the world is from Wisconsin. The guy
Really?
who set the world record. He ate a Big Mac a day every day for like the last, 18 years or something like that.
There should be a plaque.
Right here.
Yeah. It has everything you need. Lettuce, burger, bread, that
Special sauce.
Yeah, it's very
pickles,
special.
All beef patties.
Yeah, it's the food pyramid. Made perfect.
It is. Sir, we have a couple of movies to talk about this week. We also have, because it is the midway point of the year, it's the end of June as we were recording, we are going to take a look back on the movies from this year so far that we have enjoyed the most, which should be fun because we've seen quite a few movies so far.
Yeah. Probably more than the average.
I agree. And so we'll be talking about our favorite movies so far. But first, you have a movie you're going to get us started off with.
I got a documentary. It's Won't You Be My Neighbor? This is the story of Fred Rogers, directed by Morgan Neville. So this is not as much of a story, but kind of a celebration of Fred Rogers' life. This is how he kind of started his little show, how he got the idea of getting the show, his term at PBS, which lasted a long time, extra side projects, and it's all told by family members, friends, people he inspired, and they have all these fun clips. It's a fantastic movie about a fantastic person. Really, when you're thinking of people who are really nice, it's hard to break it down where Fred Rogers is not on this list.
Genuine.
Really genuine.
It wasn't a front. It wasn't a fake face for TV. That's who he was. What you saw is what you got. He was a genuine article, as John Candy would say.
Yeah.
Just really one of the nicest people ever born.
I find this extremely interesting. There's really no conflict. Fred Rogers' life is conflict-free, pretty much.
Yeah.
They focus a little bit on his trying to get funding for PBS, which was fantastic.
That moment when he is testifying before Congress, and he is there as like the final advocate for children. He's not even there for PBS so much as I'm here for the kids.
Yeah.
And they are first and foremost, and that senator from New York who had spent days just dismissing people, like, is that all you got? Great, keep moving. I'm shutting PBS down.
Yeah.
And Mr. Rogers sits there and just talks to him like he talked to everyone on the screen.
Yeah.
And just calmly, like, I hope you'll just listen to me and understand where I'm coming from. And kids are the best, blah, blah, blah. They need this. And it ends, and the guy is like, congratulations, you got your money. And he when I saw it, the crowd cheered.
Oh, wow.
This happened 45, 50 years ago, and still the crowd's like, yeah!
I loved how they also got kind of into his childhood. They interviewed his sister, and it kind of built up how his psyche was and how this man was created. I think there was a little bit of tragedy in that, but overall, it made a man who cared so much about children and wanted to do so much for them. And the topics that he chose, also extremely helpful.
So brave.
A lot of children's shows are really good at educating you and telling you the polite things. Fred Rogers, he took the things that were dark and scary that would have canceled many shows and turned it around and gave people a relief.
And he never talked down to anyone.
No.
You know, he had different people who would come on the show, and some of them who were regulars, and some of them were kids who had handicaps or different things, and he never talked down to them.
No.
He talked to them and helped generations of other kids understand the people, too. We're just people inside. And we all look different. I mean, he broke ground with racial discrimination and with other things and helped people understand, like, there's a shot in that trailer where it's him and his friend who's African-American come and they both put their feet in the kiddie pool in the 1960s, the time where that was not okay, especially on TV. And you would probably alienate a big portion of your audience who are going to hate this. And he didn't care. And he's like, but we're just people, and we have to get through this together.
Or after the Challenger crash, that was extremely tragic. A lot of people just wanted to forget about it. And he helped kids deal with their emotions a little bit.
Adults are dealing with grief in some of these situations.
Yeah.
Robert Kennedy is assassinated. Generation of adults are dealing with this feeling of loss, and sometimes the kids are forgotten in those moments, and he's there for those kids. And it's so heartwarming and kind of heartbreaking that we don't have Mr. Rogers anymore. You know, you're watching it, and it's not even nostalgic. It's just like, man, he was there. He was so great, and we're missing that today. We don't have that guy.
I think part of it is just because he's not doing it. When Fred Rogers was born, and as he was growing up, they broke that mold. I don't know anybody who is as kind and patient as Fred Rogers.
Yeah.
I knew he was a minister, but they really kind of focused, and that was another thing he did. He had a very strong religious background, but he didn't let on in his show, so he could be more inclusive for everybody else. And I thought that was fantastic. Yeah. He was a special, unique individual.
Yeah, I think that's the biggest thing that everyone comes away with this is just how special he was. Yeah. There's nobody like him.
And you will laugh, you will smile, you will get little tugs on your heart, but it's not because you're sad, it's because you're so damn happy. Yeah. I was beaming a smile through most of this movie.
Yeah. Like, man, you know, he was great. We just love him. You know, it got me to go home and I'm watching episodes and clips on YouTube of Mr. Rogers, you know, where he has the Wicked Witch of the West. That was one of my favorite episodes when I was a kid. And she took her makeup off. Like, what? I mean, there's just moments and characters that came through there. It's just great. And, you know, and bouncing off of that, we also have a feature film that's in the works right now about his life, starring Tom Hanks, who I think if we took a poll of people of who's the closest thing we have to Fred Rogers as far as just genuinely nice guy that people like, Tom Hanks is towards the top of that list.
Yeah, I was mentioning to this earlier. He tried being a villain last year. And it didn't quite work because I like him too much.
Nobody wants him as a villain.
No.
Tom Hanks, we love you.
Out of curiosity, favorite puppet from Land of Make Believe?
Yeah, I like Daniel Tiger quite a bit.
Yeah, that's my favorite. I was picturing you as King
Friday.
Yeah.
He's close.
It's the beard.
King Friday is pretty awesome. What did you end up giving Won't You Be My Neighbor?
I gave it a 4. It's solid score. It's not as high as a lot of other reviewers right now. I just gave it because it wasn't really a story. It's a full-fledged documentary where there was no conflict. But it's a great documentary. Absolutely. It really is.
Absolutely. Yeah, I gave it a 4.5. I love this movie. It's well worth checking out. It's in theaters right now. Go see it. You won't regret it, even if you don't know Fred Rogers.
Yeah.
Learn who he is.
Really.
Great man.
Unless you're a cold-hearted psychopath.
I got a movie for you. Let's move on to Jurassic World, Fallen Kingdom from director J.A. Bayona. We bring back the characters played by Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard. And in this movie, the island that the dinosaurs are on is exploding. The volcano is erupting. It's about to wipe out all of these dinosaurs that we know and love again. And it is there's a man played by Rafe Spall who is gathering up all the dinosaurs. He basically sends out a team of kind of mercenaries to go and gather up dinosaurs, bring them to the sanctuary, and they'll be safe and they can run around and play and frolic. It'll be great.
Yeah.
And so they are kind of whisked away, and we quickly find out that the reason that he is doing so is to weaponize these dinosaurs, of course, and auction them off to the highest bidder. Different countries who want to have dinosaurs in their army. He is also taking Blue, the raptor from the first Jurassic World movie that Chris Pratt trained. And Blue is going to be used to breed other super soldier raptors. We're going to create a new breed who's just so smart, and he's become the predator. And so now it's up to Chris Pratt and Bryce Dallas Howard to stop this from happening. Hijinks ensue, and everyone in this movie is going to make a stupid decision at every turn.
Yeah. Well, it's not just the people, but also everything that was written.
Writers.
The writers.
They made all the stupid decisions. It's absurd because, in the previous movies, there was always one character in these movies who would make a dumb or selfish move. That would lead to something happening, the dinosaurs getting loose, whatever. In this movie, it's everyone. Every single character makes dumb decisions that wouldn't make any sense. There's no character development at all in this movie.
So, really, if there's no character development, who cares which one's the dumb one? They're all the same.
I don't care who lives and dies in this movie.
No, true. No. And a lot of times they should have died. And I'm not talking like, oh, yeah, they were close. Yeah. There's a lot of things that grade school children know aren't true. Yeah. Like, for example, hot lava cannot be a couple inches away from your skin without a problem.
Could I whisk it away?
You cannot.
If I move really quick, though, can I brush it away?
Well, if you have Chris Pratt's magic hands, yes. But
he's Star-Lord. He can do anything.
I'm going to tell everybody, movies do the same things with bears. Yeah, bears are cute and cuddly in the movies, but you do not hug them and you do not touch lava. Don't touch lava. Lava's bad.
That's a good tip from Mike Roth right there, kids.
I'm telling you.
Listen to that one. You're the Mr. Rogers of this show.
Yeah, and also if there's that fresh ash plume that's usually pretty hot, and don't breathe it in. Oh. You cannot go weaving in and out of this plume without dying.
I'm learning a lot today on Real Reviews. This is good.
Yeah, educational, just like Mr. Rogers.
I learned that dinosaurs can fake dead. They can play dead, and then open one eye and give a little grin to the audience, like, watch me, I'm about to eat someone. It was some of the dinosaur moves in this movie were short of the Flintstones, of like, it's a living dinosaurs,
I compare this more like, this movie was kind of like Gremlins 2, except for, in a way...
Gremlins 2 was more self-aware of what it was.
Exactly. Where I think
they were literally watching their own movie in the theater in that movie.
Where I think in this one, they just took tips from Michael Bay. Just make things explode. Doesn't matter if it's really stupid.
Make it bigger.
Yeah, make it bigger, make it faster.
And that's my big issue with this movie is it is like a breakneck pace through this movie.
Yeah.
So there's no time to really care about anyone or care about what's happening because they're like, every 30 seconds we've got to throw a dinosaur at you. But the problem is this isn't 1994. I've seen the dinosaurs many times.
Yeah.
So just throwing the dinosaur on screen at me doesn't get me anymore. I want to see characters and I want to see things that make sense and a story develop with the dinosaurs, not just, well, you've got dinosaurs, there you go.
And that was the big difference with 94. Yes, it was groundbreaking because of the technology. We never seen anything like that before, but that was a good story.
Yeah.
You had characters that were different from each other that you liked or disliked. Where this one, it's like, everybody just run!
And it's just really weak villains in this movie.
Yeah.
It didn't make any sense to me.
Weird ending twist, which we're not going to divulge.
Yeah, there's something brought in the final act of this movie that you think would be a big thing, and they just kind of rush past it. So much lava at your hands, just... We don't need that.
Yeah.
My thing is this movie, it felt, with the way that it transpired, that they really want this movie to be Planet of the Apes. Really want this to follow in that Blue is the Caesar. He's the smart dinosaur. And he will lead these dinosaurs off into the great world. And it feels like they were trying so desperately. Colin Trevorrow was trying desperately to write this. And it just fails to me. I don't care.
It was just dumb. They keep on repeating messages over and over again that are just silly stupid. If you really enjoy the explosions and running dinosaurs and stuff like that, awesome. This might be your movie for you. Great.
Yeah.
If you want a story you want something with a little heart or character development or mystery, you're not going to get it. You're just going to get explosions and fast dinosaurs.
Yeah, and that's the thing is, like, I want more than that. My interest in these big budget, throw the money on the screen, who cares about story? My interest in that really, I'm losing it more and more every day. I have a hard time with it. I need to actually be having a lot of fun. If you want me to completely shut my brain off, you've mentioned a couple of times in previous, San Andreas is a perfect example of that.
Yeah.
Of like, shut your brain off, just have some fun. You know this is ridiculous.
Yeah.
But these movies are different, and we've seen good versions of this story in this universe. And so I expect just a little bit more than what I got.
I feel like, I hate to compare it, but with San Andreas, at least some of the really stupid moments were really creative and something different that I've never seen. Yeah. Where I feel like I've seen many movies where people were out running lava. Yeah. It's happened. Or
we've seen that.
And we've seen
they
many
had two
Jurassic...
come out the same year once. Volcano and Dante's Peak both come out.
Yeah, and same thing with dinosaurs. We've seen the dinosaur shtick. You got to do more. You need story, not just bigger dinosaurs.
Absolutely. What did you end up giving Jurassic World? Fallen Kingdom?
I give it a 2.5. I know it sounds like I've been harshing on it, but really I feel like this is mediocre. You can sit through this movie. I just don't want to watch it again.
Wouldn't choose to.
I wouldn't choose to.
Yeah, I put this right there among the worst of this franchise, like probably with Jurassic Park 3, which I think is really terrible. I gave it 1.5 stars. I have no interest in seeing this movie again.
That's a bold statement.
Yeah, I just don't like it. We'll get more, though, because it's making a ton of money, so we'll get another one.
Tons of money. It's going to go into Transformer spectrum of franchise. We'll have a blue spin-off.
Yeah, why not?
Yeah.
Why not? Good grief. Anyways, kind of flipping the script on where we're talking right now, we have good movies that we've seen this year. Movies that we both really, really enjoy. We are at the midpoint, so let's take a look back with our top 5 favorite movies of 2018 so far. And I'm going to let you start off with your number 5.
My number 5 is the last Avengers movie. I was a little hesitant about this movie because you had so many characters, and it's very difficult when you have that many personalities to try to make a coherent, smooth movie, but they did it. It was funny, it was adventurous, it was fun. I loved it. This was a big budget movie that really worked. And I think it has to do with great writing and great characters, really.
We've had good superhero movies this year.
Yeah.
Black Panther.
I gave this a 4. Black Panther was also fantastic.
Yeah. I actually cut all my superhero movies off, but Black Panther, Avengers, Incredibles 2, like all of them, like, all right, no superhero movies made the top 5, but they're all close.
Yeah.
Because we've had some really good ones so far. My number 5 movie of the year so far is the newest movie from director Brett Haley. It is Hearts Beat Loud, starring Nick Offerman and Kiersey Clemons as a father and daughter at a pivotal point in both of their lives. She is about to go off to medical school. He is about to close down his record store that he's owned for years. They find a moment where they produce some music. They have time together to kind of reconnect as a father and daughter. They produce a song that kind of goes viral, and he wants to have her quit college and go out on the road with him and relive his youth. Yeah. And she says, Dad, I want to be a doctor. I want to go on with real life. And it's a beautiful, sweet movie.
I love that concept. It feels very original because usually in all the movies, it's the roles reversed. You got to go to college. Don't follow your heart. No, I'm going to go out and do my what? No, it's the other way around. I thought that's and Nick Offerman is. It's
great.
Awesome.
It's got a great soundtrack. We also have Ted Danson, Tendon Bar. So that's great, right? Yeah. Ted Danson behind a bar is worth seeing right there.
He's done that a couple of times.
I've seen him do it. I watch it every night. I see him doing it. Your number 4 movie, sir.
My number 4 is Solo. A lot of people are harshing this, and a lot of people did not come out and see this movie. You've made a big mistake. This is a great movie. It has good character development. I liked how they took the droids a different direction. I liked watching the beginnings of Solo and how he became that jaded, I'm just out for myself type adult later on in life in the New Hope series. This is a fantastic movie. They're not going to make, or they're putting a halt on Obi-Wan and all these others because
all the standalone movies.
We had a lot of Star Wars fans that decided they were going to boycott it.
Great job,
and also
guys.
we had some, I don't think they did much for promotion as they could have. But total crud that they did this, because it's a great movie.
Yeah, it's an enjoyable flick. It doesn't deserve anything near the skepticism that it's getting.
Yeah.
It's really unfair. I agree with you. My number 4 movie is perhaps the sweetest movie I've seen all year. It's so good, unexpectedly great. That's Paddington 2. Paddington 2 came out the second week of January. Good movies don't come out the second week of January. This one did, and it built off of, I loved the first Paddington, was shocked when I went and saw it, and was like, wow, I love this movie. I have no attachment to Paddington or anything about it.
Yeah.
Loved it. This one came out, built off of it beautifully. Hugh Grant as a great, literally mustache-twirling villain. And Paddington just, it's so sweet. It's so fun.
I love the sets. I love the story. It was funny. I did not see the first Paddington. I remember I actually pawned that off on you. I was like, you get to watch this. I'll watch the horror movie.
Right.
And I loved the horror movie. It was pretty good. And you love Paddington. And I'm like, it's just because you have kids. That's it, in my head.
Sure.
And then I see Paddington 2, and I'm like, oh my gosh, this is a fantastic movie. Every adults without kids can love this movie.
Absolutely. You and I are not the target audience for Paddington
definitely not.
2.
Yeah.
But we love it.
Yeah.
It's because it's just well done and great writing.
Yeah.
Yeah. A lot of fun.
A lot of fun.
Check it out.
It's not kiddie humor. It's just
smart.
humor. Yeah.
Exactly. Your number 3 movie, sir.
My number 3, Ready Player One. A fantastic movie that really plucked at my nostalgia strings. I grew up during the time where most of this movie is trying to reference. It was a fantastic story, a lot of good action. It was solid all the way through.
Yes.
I could not find really any flaw. I still gave it a 4.5. I can't remember the flaw right now. I probably mentioned it on the show, but right now I'm just... I got it. I'll probably
This is a movie that I'm actually really looking forward to rewatching. I was going to rewatch it in the theater when it was out, and things just started coming out like crazy, and I didn't get a chance to. But this is a movie that, when I saw it, there's so much being thrown at you. I can't wait to rewatch it a couple of times and pick things out.
Visually was awesome. Nostalgia strings awesome. Story's awesome.
Yeah.
I got to find out. After the show, I'm going to find out when it
you
comes
and
out
everyone
on Blu-ray.
else should go back and rewatch that episode and find out what we thought about it. My number 3 movie is from the new one from director Greg Berlanti. It is Love, Simon. It is a story about Simon, who's a high school kid who is hesitant, to say the least, to come out of the closet and let even his closest friends know that he is gay. And because of that and the events surrounding it, he's kind of forced into a situation where he has to do some kind of terrible things to his friends just to try and keep his secret because he just doesn't. He's not ready.
Yeah.
And it's a movie that is, it deals with that age in high school and all of the uncomfortableness that is inherent in that age, much less when you feel like you are different than anyone else and you're trying to find just another voice to talk to. It's a great movie.
I completely agree, and that is why it's my number 2 favorite movie.
Excellent.
Not only is it tackle a really kind of difficult subject, I feel like this is the first that really tackled this. And the way they placed it, there's not good or evil. It's all Simon's friends are very supportive, and they would love him no matter what. It's an inner conflict that Simon has where he just can't tell people. And I think that is a very important story to tell. A lot of people, it's easy to say, yeah, those people are bad, these people are good, but it's the neutral people, the real people. We all have problems. We all need help. And this is a movie that tells people, we just need to work together a little better.
Yeah. It's great. It's really, really underrated.
Yeah.
I don't see this on a lot of best of the year, but it's a great movie.
It is a great movie.
Well worth checking out.
Anybody who sees it will say it's great. You'll be surprised.
I agree. So that was your number 2. So my number 2 is the new film from Alex Garland. It is Annihilation, a sci-fi movie that is it's not an easy movie to get through. I watched this movie a couple of times, and it's a new but an old style of telling sci-fi. It has homages to other films, but it's a great film. It's just beautiful and eerie, and you're not always 100% sure of what's going on and what's real and what's not. And in the final 15 minutes of this, there are moments, and the music helps. There's this creepy music and they're some of the creepiest moments that I've seen in a while in a movie that kind of really freaked me out.
The score really can freak you out,
Yeah.
and the visuals. It kind of throws back to how John Carpenter used to do stuff a little bit.
Yeah.
They're
I
creepy.
mean, the moments
they're
between
really creepy.
Natalie Portman and this alien freak me out, and you have that music just like, no, I don't like this.
Yeah.
I don't like what's going on.
But even though it's odd, I still think it's very palatable to everybody else who watches it.
Yeah.
It is a fantastic movie. If you like horror, if you like sci-fi, this is
it's right up there.
right up there. If you like art films, if you just like film,
Yeah.
you need to see it. It's
Absolutely.
a great movie.
Your number one movie, sir.
Number one movie, hands down, Isle of Dogs. It was a fantastic movie. It pulls at your heartstrings. It's visually just beautiful. The soundtrack is fantastic. There is nothing I found wrong with this movie at all, and that's why I gave it the only 5 I've given a movie so far this year.
Yeah, I agree. It's my number one movie as well. It's just great. It is perfection in this field of animation. It's Wes Anderson kind of at the peak of his powers. It's so great, and it's a movie that I watched a couple of times. I'm really looking forward to watching again. Because there's just so much going on. There's so much in depth going on with these characters, and they're so interesting. It's a phenomenal movie.
Yeah.
I wish we got more movies like this.
So do I.
So yeah, I mean, both of us agree. It's the best movie of the year thus far.
Yeah, we're spur people.
Now, we were talking about documentary earlier, and real quickly, I just want to mention that there's some great documentaries as well that came out this year. That Won't You Be My Neighbor is one. 3 Identical Strangers, which is actually coming into theaters this week, is one that has to be seen. And Saving Brinton is another one that just has to be seen. So there's some great docs out there as well to check out. Let's take a look ahead, sir, though, at movies that are going to be coming out this upcoming week. We have the 4th of July is right upon us. Get your sparklers ready. Fire off some snakes. Do whatever it takes, because the first purge is upon us on July 4th. Salute the flag and go watch The Purge, because we are going to find out how The Purge began.
See, I love the first one. I absolutely love the first one.
Everyone loves it.
But it was like watching a
last one was
scenic
really
view,
bad.
and then you just decide to jump off the cliff.
Like, why am I in the
was
sewers
great.
now? What do I do in the sewers? I fell into a manhole?
Yeah.
But this is the new one. July 4th.
From all the trailers, it seems like they're like, oh, all the stuff that we did to ruin The Purge, we're going to do that, but we're going to do it just like Jurassic Park, make it louder, bigger, better.
Make stuff blow up.
Yep.
Also, next week, July 6th, we have 2 movies coming out. The first one is Ant-Man and the Wasp is finally coming to theaters, and I'm excited for that.
Yeah.
It looks fun.
The first one was like the first Marvel comedy. I think this is going to be a smash hit.
It looks like a lot of fun. And we also have a movie called Sorry to Bother You from writer-director Boots Riley, musician Boots Riley. It's all about telemarketing and how it leads to insanity for one character played by Lakeith Stanfield, and things get a little out of control for him.
Boots is half the way I beat box. If you cats,
Boots and cats?
and boots
You
and
do
cats
both?
and boots and boots and boots.
You
cats
and Siri
boots
both
cats.
do that. It's pretty amazing. All right, before we leave you, of course, we have to thank our sponsor, The Palace here in Sun Prairie. Marcus Theaters, thank you for sponsoring our show. It's blazing hot outside, but it's always cool inside the theaters.
Cool and dry.
Sitting there in the Dream Lounger. We appreciate your sponsorship. If you want to find more from us, you can always find us online anytime. If you're on Facebook, you can find us there by searching for Real Reviews TV. You can find us also on Twitter at Real Reviews TV. You can find a whole bunch of previous episodes if you go to sunprairiemediacenter.com. Find the on-demand player there. You can find a bunch of stuff. And if you want to find us on YouTube, we're there. Just search Real Reviews, KSUNK Sun. You can find a whole host of beautiful HD presentations.
A lot of shows.
A lot of shows. Go back, find out what Mike thought about that Ready Player One. Why did he only give it 4.5?
Yeah, I was curious.
What was his issue?
I'm thinking 5 now, but there must have been an issue.
We got to go back and search it. Go back and watch.
It's easy to
I
do.
bet I have hair and a shorter beard back then, too.
We need to redo our intro sometime.
At some point, yeah. All right. Well, next week we are going to be talking about Sicario Davis Sodaldo, as well as Uncle Drew, and maybe something else. Who knows? We'll see. But until that time, I'm Jameson.
I'm Mike Roth.
Thanks for watching.